So, over the weekend, a pretty popular YouTuber named Jacksepticeye, while on one of those fake polygraph test things, they're not real. He revealed that he does not like Mr. Beast, the YouTuber. I don't feel like I don't need to explain who Mr. Beast is, but he doesn't like Mr. Beast, and he thinks that Mr. Beast ruined YouTube. And obviously, Mr. Beast was not happy about that characterization from Jack and took to Twitter and to pretty much complain about it. And I thought that I'd put my 2 cents in here on another episode of The Writer's Block, which, as you know, is a show that allows me to just discuss creative topics. And these are two creators talking kind of a bit about the more meta discussion of YouTube, the YouTube scene in different years. And so I thought I'd give my 2 cents on it. So let's break down Jack's kind of statements. First of all, he says he does not like Mr. Beast. I don't think that is a personal thing. Like, I don't think Jack and whatever Mr. Beast's real name, government name is, because I don't think his mom named him Mr. Beast at birth. I don't think they've met, and Jack just like personally doesn't like him. I don't think that's it. So I just felt the need to put it in there. And then there was the part about ruining YouTube, and Jack mentioned a couple of things. I think the one that was really prominent is he said, well, if he was really having fun during his videos, we'd see more of it. And what Jack's kind of saying, and I do actually agree with it, and I'll explain more in a minute, but what Jack's essentially saying is that Mr. Beast's style of content, whenever that was beginning to grow popular, was the development of a larger change in the landscape of YouTube. So, for example, before Mr. Beast was super popular, YouTube was a lot more raw. There wasn't as much time put into super high budget, high quality production shoots or edits or anything like that. It was a lot more like this, a person, maybe multiple people that are friends, that are on like a Skype call or whatever together with just a webcam, just talking, playing a game, just talking, whatever else. That was kind of what YouTube was. There wasn't this modern scene of YouTube, which was largely brought about by the popularity of Mr. Beast, which all these people trying to make just bigger, better, more well-produced content that's more reminiscent of a traditional TV show. Like, Mr. Beast at this point is just making short TV show episodes with his videos. And, there is something to be said about ruining, or just there not being as much of a market for a more personal, raw style of YouTube that was just people being able to make things. It is largely now become a lot more inaccessible for people to create content. It is not really possible for many people to make videos at the quality or even the content level of somebody like Mr. Beast, because they don't have the monetary resources for it. So at this point, if you want to have your videos be viewed on YouTube, you gotta figure out some crazy thing to be able to do and put in the thumbnail to get views. It's not as easy to get views on videos like this. They're more raw, more personal, and not as glamorous in a sense. And Jack also mentioned that he personally feels like Mr. Beast essentially view chases. He's there to chase the views, chase the money, everything else. And while Mr. Beast made a point that, with my money, it's not like I'm out here buying sports cars or buying mansions or whatever. I'm putting it all back into the content. Mr. Beast has said multiple times that he definitely chases money. It's not there's no way around that. Like, you can't sit there and say that Mr. Beast doesn't chase money. It's arguable what he spends it on. I'm not his accountant, I don't know what he budgeted on, but he obviously chases money. You can tell just by his YouTube, and you can tell by his other business ventures, whether it be the Beast Burger shit, or the chocolate bars, or the what is it now? Some like creator game type thing in like crypto and stuff. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But it's obvious that he's chasing money and largely chasing views. And what Jack was saying, because I mean, if you guys have been around on YouTube for a while, Jack was big back in the more raw state of YouTube before Mr. Beast, and he said that back then it was a lot more about having fun just with your friends or doing things you enjoy on camera, and you and your audience can get a bond over those. And you can go back and look at old videos from Jack and his friends, like he would play like what is that? Like hide and seek or whatever, prop hunt in Gary's mod or whatever, with like Markiplier and Bob and Wade. Like, those are great videos of friends having fun, and they're not trying to chase views in the process. It's just friends having a good time. And now it's like it's been built. YouTube's kind of been built into this environment where everybody's trying to chase that 1 out of 10. You're always trying to get that confetti, you're always trying to get the views, always trying to go bigger and better. And while that's not always a bad thing to try to constantly improve your content, it creates a pretty unhealthy environment here on YouTube. And that's for two different reasons. So the first of which is just mental health. Like, whenever you put all of your stake in views and internet points and internet clout, it can start to really tear down your mental, because if you're not receiving that validation through getting views, getting attention like that, it can start to weigh on you, because that's the only place you can go to for that validation. So if it's not happening, it can tear down on you until you're able to see those numbers respond in the way you want. So instead of people existing in their own sphere and acquiring validation from themselves or their family or their friends, their loved ones, they're trying to receive validation from the internet, from people they don't know, and from largely meaningless numbers, which is not healthy in any way. And the second thing that you start to see is you start to see creators lose their souls a bit. And a good example from this, and anybody who watches this channel will understand what I'm saying, the Sidemen. The Sidemen used to make content that was a lot less produced, a lot more raw, that was just friends hanging out. And now their videos have grown in budget, grown in production value, trying to grow in scale, and both the audience and the Sidemen members themselves seem to be having a lot less fun with the uploads they're receiving. There's a time and a place for super well produced content and everything else, but the thing is that having more raw, less produced, more real content is also important too. And while there is markets for that content, it exists, it does not get pushed by the YouTube algorithm in the same way that this super mega massive produced content is, because Mr. Beast is so marketable and YouTube wants to market their marketable creators and videos as much as possible, to the point where series don't get the same love anymore. Let's plays don't get the same love. Instead, you got to complete the entire game in one video and just cut into the highlights. And even then, it doesn't mean anything if you don't have some sort of stakes or challenge on it. The scene of YouTube has just massively morphed, and it would be ridiculous to insinuate that Mr. Beast was not a massive force in that. It's the biggest reason why YouTube has morphed into what it is today. Mr. Beast and like late night shows putting all their clips and stuff on YouTube. It's like those two forces together that have changed the YouTube scene. And I personally wish there was more division between the two sides, whereas the super highly produced stuff can exist in its own vacuum, whether it's on like Netflix or like actual produced shows and stuff. And I wish that there was just a space like YouTube that just existed for more raw production. And I guess that's kind of where live streaming has come from. I have my own problems and my own thoughts on that, but I guess that is the best alternative to this point. But I don't think anything Jack said was wrong or inflammatory. He didn't say anything personally against Mr. Beast. He mostly said it against his style of content. And while he probably should have worded it better, it's not his fault that people took fault in his words. He didn't word it badly. It's just he could have worded it better. But at the same time, Jack doesn't have to compensate and compromise his words and everything just to make up for the phony internet outrage that is obviously going to come from saying something like that. So those are kind of my thoughts on the topic. If you guys want me to cover anything else and talk about anything else, let me know. Subscribe to the channel, help out, whatever else. I'm not going to go into the big YouTube outro. I just don't feel like it. Have a great rest of your day.